Imagine that 3,500 years ago, up here, as they had fortified the area of the hill, there was a palace, so in charge was the royal family. But the centuries passed by, and we reached the classical time, the golden era, which is the time of Pericles, the time that Athens is very powerful because they had won the Persians. So they decide to use the hill again, but as a religious center, and they dedicate the hill that they have already dedicated to one of the goddesses that they used to worship, Goddess Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Let's move a little bit towards the shade because I don't want you to stand. And that time, all the ancient people used to worship the same gods. 12 gods they had. Each god had an identity, and they were constructing temples. Temple is an ancient building, is a building that religious character, that they were constructing it to preserve the statue of the god or the goddess. A sanctuary, which was the Acropolis, was a religious area with temples, statues, people who were coming as pilgrims, the houses of the people outside of the walls, and the area was, let's say, a holy area to the goddess of wisdom, the warrior goddess, Goddess Athena, daughter of Zeus. Outside of the walls as we are, there is this building in front of you. This building is Roman, had been constructed after the construction of the temples that we will see. So that is in the 2nd century AD, and has a name. They call it Herodeon. It was the order of Herodaticus. This man was Greek. He was born in the area of Athens, but he was also a Roman citizen, a very good friend of the Roman Emperor Hadrian, and usually in the memory of his dead wife, Herodaticus was erecting buildings. This one is the concert hall where the stage are all these arches, so it should have 3 floors, a roof on the top for a better acoustic. The orchestra is like a half circle in front of the stage, that usually they cover it because we have performances, and the seats are quite new because of the reconstruction that took place. So the capacity of the building was, and is, of 5,000 spectators. They were using it only for music. We instead use it as a concert hall, as a theater, as a ballet place. And great personalities who are coming from abroad give the performances in the Herodeon. For instance, till the end of July, they have the opera of Puccini, Madame Butterfly. Before, they had the Flying Dutch. And they will go on with, let's say, music and theatrical plays. Sir Elton John, in the memory of Lady Diana, had given a concert here. Montserrat Caballé and Plácido Domingo many times. Liza Minnelli, Diana Ross also before, yes? So you have ballet academies from Europe and not only. You have, let's say, Greek traditional dances or, let's say, theatrical plays. Everything takes place in the Herodeon. If this is Roman, let's say, the same is the remaining on the top of the hill that you see over there in front of you. That's a grave, that's a monument, the decoration of a grave. Philopappos, here, Philopappos' grave. This man was a prince from Syria, in exile here in Athens. We are talking about the 2nd century AD, 2,200 years ago. They sent him in exile here in Athens, and he likes the place, he spends money, he has the desire to be buried there. So when he died, they buried him there. They had erected above the grave a decoration. But even if we go up there, we cannot find the tomb, we cannot find the whole decoration. You see it broken. According though to the archaeologists, shows vanity, because to construct a funeral building on the top of a hill that has more or less the same height as the Acropolis, it means that the world is vain. They don't show respect anymore, and they don't worship the gods as the ancient Greeks used to. Imagine that 2,500 years ago, the people didn't have the right not even to face the Acropolis because it was the religious area to Athena. Olive trees everywhere around here, and according to the myth, she did a gift to the Athenians. In order to emphasize the cult of Athena, they use a myth. And the myth says that she wanted to be the protector of the area, the same one around Poseidon, who was the god of the water element. So they had to make a gift to the people to offer something. He launches his trident, hits the rock, running water comes out. She plants a tree, and this tree becomes big, from green olives to black, and the people are surprised, and of course they select the gift of Athena. That's how they nominate the whole area under her name, Athena, because of her. But that's a myth. The myth usually hides phenomena, are geological phenomena, or can be a symbolism. Here you have a geological phenomenon. As we proceed and you observe the rock, like the rock which is, if you turn your head in front of you, you will notice that it has holes, also caves, we will see them from a distance, and it has a particular morphology, it is karstic. It has even crystal, kind of crystal. So in order to justify the existence of water that they could accumulate with this morphology that they have, probably had fabricated the myth of Poseidon, who was representing the water elements. And they combined geological phenomenon with their cults, and to justify the fact that they knew how to cultivate the olive tree and what was offering to them, fabricated the myth of Athena that she, the goddess who was protecting them, offers to them one of the most important gifts, to have a living. The first temple that someone sees, let's say the first temple that someone sees as he enters on the Acropolis, is just this room with the four columns in front for it. These columns have the style ion.
Une entrée également côté Acropolis.
You can see the decoration which is erected, and the temple was dedicated to goddess Athena. Nike. Nike is the Nike that you say. Victor is the translation of Nike. So you have the same goddess but with different identities. And why to goddess Athena Nike? The moment that they construct the temple, that is 2,500 years ago, yes, the Athenians are powerful and they put the basis for philosophy and the arts. They have democracy, so that means that they can express themselves better in comparison to the other Greeks. But it's also the moment that they are in a war with another Greek city, Sparta. And this civil war was, let's say, the bad choice that the Greeks did for them, because made them weak, and lasted 34 years. In a break that they had in a war with the Spartans, the Athenians, as they had, let's say, written as friends, let's say, the break of the peace, they had erected a temple to goddess Athena Nike, victory. She was protected, helping them to win. Of marble, local material, 333 pieces is made of. Too many restorations took place. The first restorations were a mistake. We know that all the ancient buildings between the blocks of the columns have metallic links of leads, iron leads, for a better balance. Was placed